Neon lights flashing in the dark of the night. I'm playing Pac-Man, it's my second life. The joystick's in my hand, I'm unstoppable. High score secrets, I've got them all unlocked. Memories rush back like a time machine. Take me back to the arcade, where I spent my younger days. In the black lights glowing on a pocket full of tokens. Dance and groove to the beat.
Hello and welcome to the Premium AI Strategy Accelerator, the ultimate program for schools, colleges and universities and businesses that want to lead in the AI revolution. Before you apply, let me tell you how this program works. Who is this program for? We focus on helping a hand-picked team of 6 to 10 change makers in your organization. And this elite innovation squad will become your internal startup, pioneering AI-driven solutions that define your organization's future.
This generation with a faded acid cheese. Take me back to the arcade.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Stream 1, our final day of Week of AI. But don't fret, we have workshops all day tomorrow. So if you want a little weekend encore, you can register. It's $10 a workshop or $40 for the entire day. It's through Zoom. So you can get up close and personal, ask the presenters questions, turn your video on, a little bit more of an intimate playground environment than the streams where you're just like chatting at us with text. So I'm excited for this session. Your students have an AI teammate. Are you ready? Michael Furcano is a K-6 design and technology teacher at Iolani School in Honolulu, Hawaii. I've been trying to get there for years. Michael, hint, hint. He's also a Google certified trainer, a Code.org computer science discoveries facilitator, a CSOL certified educator, a grades 3 through 6 esports coach, and has been presenting on EdTech topics for more than 15 years. His passions center around computer science, augmented and virtual reality, artificial intelligence, maker education, esports, and purposeful cross-curricular technology integration. Wow. You think you know people until you read their bios.
I wear many hats.
Yes, you do. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks, Amanda. Good to see you again.
Likewise,
I'm disappointed
yeah.
we're not boxing again like we did on
We're not
Monday, but that's okay.
Boxing it out. Yeah. No, today you have the stage solo. I
Friendly match.
will step out of the ring and let you share your AI nuggets. So
Awesome. Thanks. Hey guys, aloha. Yeah, my name is Mike Furcano. Yeah, by day I'm a K-6 design and technology teacher. Sorry, apologies if it's a little noisy. I got kindergartners in my lab right now, but they'll be heading out, wrapping up their activity in just a few minutes. Things will quiet down. But thanks for joining me. This is the last session, last round of sessions, except for the fun party stuff happening afterwards. Make sure you stick around for that. But this is your students have an AI teammate. Are you ready? And the idea here, I think it's been happening a lot this week, and maybe you've been able to, hopefully you've been able to catch all the sessions. Maybe you haven't. But I'm just gonna demo some really cool AI generative apps that I find really interesting, that I feel like has a lot of use and purpose for me and my students, and hopefully by sharing it with you, you can find some purpose in them for you as well. And we're just gonna kind of go through and take a look at what's out there and talk a little bit about how we might be able to use it. Feel free to chime in the chat, ask questions, share your own thoughts and ideas. I'm gonna the link. Maybe we could put it in the chat here. It's down there in the corner of the screen there, and it'll be on every slide, but it's bit.ly/AI-teammate is the link. And if you type it in correctly, thanks, Amanda, it should take you to this web page here. So this is my presentation resource. Feel free to bookmark it. You guys are more than welcome to share it with your colleagues. Share it online if you find any interest in it. It's got the slide deck embedded, links to all the useful resources and tools that I'm sharing in the slide deck there. So feel free to follow along. I've got links in the slides. So when I'm sharing and talking about a tool, please jump into it yourself and try it out as I'm showing it to you. I love to kind of get your real-time feedback and thoughts on the tools that I'm sharing with you today. And by no means am I an expert. I'm sort of along the same, running along parallel to the rest of you. We're all learners. I love to follow code.org's philosophy on teaching by serving as the lead learner. Meaning, again, I'm not the expert. I'm learning alongside you. These are tools that I don't have 100% experience with, but I've kind of dabbled in them, and I'm exploring them again for use in my classes in the hopefully in the near future. But yeah, let's get into it. So the agenda here, pretty simple. I got three areas I want to share with you. One, the very first one, pretty quickly, I just want to show a really interesting and great way that I found for assessing AI tools for use in my classes. So we'll take a look at that, and then we'll move into some tools. So, but kind of the thinking around here today is showing you what AI tools exist today, like what's usable today, depending on your subject area, your age group, your school policies, your district policies, what might be possible. And then kind of take a look at what AI tools are on the horizon. Especially, I mean, some really amazing announcements were made this week from ChatGPT or OpenAI. Some announcements were made at Google I/O around Gemini and Google's AI tools. And I wanted to share a little bit of what's been announced this week in terms of AI in education with those companies and those tools. So we'll take a look at some of those as well if you haven't seen them yet. Okay, so let's start. Of course, when we look at tools for our classroom, it's important to really get a good grasp and understanding of how those tools work, and kind of dig into it a little bit ourselves as the lead learners in our classroom, kind of having a good solid understanding of how it works. It's important to assess those tools. And I came across recently a really great resource. This by no means, it's not mine. I'm not claiming it as mine. I did not have any hand in creating it, but I think it's a really powerful resource for us as teachers. And so I wanted to share with you guys. And that's the TCEA Teacher Rubric and Checklist for Assessing AI Tools. The link is here in the slide if you want to take a look at it. But the link takes you to this really great article that was written back in February by Dr. Bruce Ellis. And he had a hand in helping create this resource for the TCEA organization. And I just found it as a really great way of thinking, very carefully about the tools the AI tools we might consider using in a classroom. And so the rubric looks like this. It's 2 pages. There's a page for assessing AI for classroom. There's a rubric. This is the rubric itself, and they break it into 4 areas of assessment. So one is looking at its relevancy to your curriculum, to the age appropriateness, how engaging is it and interactive. You can assess it based on student data privacy. I kind of feel like that should be at the top of the list, maybe. It's probably one of the most important things in regards to AI tools out there. But looking at, what are the data collection policies? How do they use the data that's collected by their users? And are they compliant with the laws? Things like FERPA, COPA, GDPR. And when you think about student data privacy and you're assessing a tool for that, it's really important you talk to your IT department. Get their feedback, get their opinion on it. If you're not really sure what to look for, talk to them and ask them for advice. Hopefully they're supportive in helping you look for that information. The rubric also looks at ease of learning, its interface, its learning curve, whether it has accessibility features, and then its support. What kind of support does this tool provide? There's some really amazing tools out there that sometimes lack the support. It's kind of just out there, but then there's some really great tools out there that do a really fantastic job of helping its users learn how to use the tool. So does it offer tutorials and any kind of training, whether it's self-paced training or webinars? What kind of customer support do they offer? And what kind of community resources are out there? Do they have a teacher forum? Do they have an online group, like a Facebook group, that you can tap into and get support from as well? These are all great things to think about when you're considering using a tool. So there's the rubric, and then there's this really useful checklist. And kind of the idea here, it's kind of flip-flop, right? You you find a tool that you like, and the idea here is you use the checklist for a really quick assessment. Kind of just check off, does it hit these marks for you? And if you get more yeses than nos, then you want to consider going back up to the rubric and really kind of diving deeper into how useful this tool might be for you and whether it's something you can actually use for your class. So again, 2 pages got the checklist and the rubric, right? And so again, the checklist is for that quick screening. That rubric is for deeper evaluation. Yeah, I thought a really great way to take a look at the tools that we plan to use, and a great resource from TCA. Let me know in the chat what you think of this rubric, and you feel like it's missing anything, or does it hit all the necessary marks when thinking about tools that we can use for our classrooms? Or if you have, and there's lots of other assessment tools out there. So if you guys are familiar with any other ones out there, toss them in the chat as well. I'm curious to see what other people are using for making important decisions about the tools we want to use. Okay, so that's assessing AI tools. So let's dive into what tools are out there today. Some of these tools, a couple of them I might have shared earlier this week. A couple of them I know have been shared quite a bit in a lot of the sessions. I think it's great to get different perspectives, opinions. The things I shared about a tool on Monday, somebody else might have shared about it and found other great uses or picked up on different features. So hopefully it's not too much of a repeat for you. But if it is, I apologize. But hopefully you pick up some new ideas today. So let's get into it. So the first one, this one's definitely a repeat. I challenged Amanda in our boxing match, our punch out match on Monday with Adobe Firefly. Right now, honestly, it's one of my favorites. I think specifically because it's really easy to use. It's got some really great features built in to help customize what you might be looking for. But it's a text to image generator, right? So you give it a prompt, just like with all these other AI tools we use out there, and then it attempts to generate a picture. But then there's some other tools that you can use afterwards, once the image is generated, to kind of fine tune it, edit it, make adjustments, and get it to as close to what you were thinking about, you're imagining from the very beginning. So let's see. Close this up. So I've got one that I generated here already based on a prompt. So this is Adobe Firefly. I'm using the free version. And just so you know, the free version right now gives you what they call credits. So you get 25 credits on a free account per month. And then that number goes back to 0 at the beginning of each month. And then, there's like a premium account that gets you even more credits. But 25 credits. I actually have access to Adobe through my school account. So my school has a school license to Adobe. Surprisingly, when I checked earlier this week, my school account has 500 credits for Adobe Firefly. So I thought that was pretty amazing as a school account. So if your district or your school is an Adobe school, you might want to look into seeing if you have access to Firefly. And if you have that 500 credits like I have, that was pretty amazing. My starting prompt here, I was kind of thinking about creating like a class mascot based on a crayon. And so I said, a bright and cheery crayon character standing on the teacher's cluttered desk in a kindergarten classroom. So I got a couple of really different versions. A lot of them look, they're photorealistic. And that's because I'm starting my content type filter here as a photo instead of an art image. So this is one way to further customize your output, is by changing the content type. So if I switch it over to art and regenerate this, we'll see the difference in the output here. And then while that's running there, I can also show you another handy feature. So there's also aspect ratio. So when you generate an image, it defaults to a square, like I think most other image generators do the same thing. But you can actually change it. You can go widescreen, you can do a portrait or a landscape. So I find that extremely useful, depending on what I plan to use this picture for. So if I go widescreen here and generate again, you saw the difference in art versus photo there. Let's take a look at what widescreen does. There we go. So you're definitely wider, kind of expands it. So this is much kind of more kid friendly here. That's not a crayon. That's not a crayon. That's a tiny teacher. But I got two really cool crayon mascots here. And then other editing features, general settings you have down the side. This is what I really like about Adobe Firefly is, beyond the prompt, which I feel like, sometimes I personally struggle with coming up with the right words for a prompt. So, if I find that I'm not really getting what I was thinking about, some really great settings on the side here that can further customize what kind of picture I'm looking for. So there's the structure. So this is a structure reference setting where you could give it a picture and it'll reference that picture and try to create the same structure that's in that image that you gave it. And there's some examples here that you could click into. That's all right, Dustin. Glad you could make it. What are you cooking, if you don't mind me asking? Um, but you can also upload a picture if you have an idea for a specific kind of structure. And then there's styles. This is my favorite feature here is styles. So, for example, here, is it like a statue? Is it like a photorealistic portrait? You have wild colors, mango pork tacos. That sounds delicious. Gonna make me hungry. But you can give it a reference style as well. So you can give it a structure reference and a style reference. And then you've got effects. So the effects are really cool. So you can, if I go to all, you can kind of scroll through. So by clicking on these effect options, you can change the style of the picture, right? So let's see, for example, I'm going to go to, which one is it? Here, themes. Now I'm going to go cartoon and 3D and generate that and see what it comes up with. So to give it more of a cartoonistic style and try to make it more three-dimensional, we'll see what it generates here. Ooh, what's coming to your door, Amanda? There we go. So let's see so it kind of took away some of the kids in my pictures, put more like shadow and light to give it more of a three-dimensional look to the picture there. So again, you can choose multiples of these. You see as I check them off, they're filling in down here in my prompt. And if I don't like it, I can always uncheck them or I can remove them from the bottom as well. Take away my filters or add more filters. And I can kind of just play around with different effects and styles and see what output I like the most. And then below that, you have some other options. You got like color and tone. You can change the lighting and you can change the camera angle, which I think is really cool. It's like wide angle, shot from above, shot from below. So you can change, so you have lots of filters here. If you're not really sure like how to word these things in a prompt like me, again, I'm not really good at prompt. I'm not the best prompt crafter. A lot of these settings can help take care of the type of image you're really looking for in your design. Okay, so you have these general settings here, and then once you're done with that and you see an image you like this one, I can go in to edit here on the picture, and there are even more features, right? So there's like generative fill. I don't know if you're familiar with this in other tools, but basically you can take the picture that's been generated, and let's say maybe I'll say like here, I'm gonna highlight this little part of the table here. We'll see if this actually works. And I want to put a pair of kid-friendly scissors. So I can give it a prompt to fill in that particular area of the picture. We'll see what it does. See, it's loading them down here on the bottom. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well, how about maybe this one? Yeah, there we go. So there's this one. That one looks a little cleaner. Not sure what happened to that one. That one looks pretty good. So I can fill in areas of the picture that might be missing things. Playing with filters. Yeah, I mean, it takes practice, right? So that's the add generative fill. There's also subtract, right? So I can let's say I don't know what this, subtract really hasn't worked for me. thought maybe I could take away some of this, but it's not really working too well over there. And then you can also change the background. So I can let's see, choose select background. It gets rid of the background for me. And then I could say, let's see, Gymnasium. I could put it somewhere else. I think get rid of all the stuff on the desk for me, but that's okay. We'll see what happens. Can you add a taco? Let's do that. Anyway, I want to cancel this. Oh, I lost my background. That's okay. Let's add, oh, you know what? Raining tacos. Wait, did I do this select background? Yeah. We all seem to be in the mood for taco. Let's see what happens. Let me know if you're playing with Adobe Firefly in the chat. Those are not tacos. Then it put some weird food on the table for me. Oh wait, let's try these other ones. Not tacos. That's the closest. How's that for a taco? I'll keep that. Okay, so you got it's a fiesta, yeah. So you got yeah, so that's the generative fill. So you can insert background, insert things in anywhere in the picture that you want, and then you can also remove. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, it's still not working. I'm not sure what the subtract does. It didn't work for me earlier. There's also I think I'm in the largest, but like let's say you started as a square and you wanted to go make the picture bigger, they have this fairly new expand feature. So you could like expand the picture, and then it'll try to fill in the missing parts of the picture to make it whole, which I think is really cool too. And okay, how do I get out of here? And then beyond that, you can download the image, you can share it out if you want to, and use it, for whatever purposes you need the picture for. And then you can also you can do things like add text to it. Um, if you're doing this for social media, you can turn it into a social media post. But some other features, there's something called Adobe Express also that I've been meaning to look at. That's sort of like Canva, but it's like Adobe's version of Canva that has these AI features built into it. But yeah, okay, so that's Adobe Firefly here. And then something that's coming soon to look forward to is this idea of generative audio and video. I'm going to show you some other options that exist out there for creating audio and video, but what you're starting to see is a lot of these tools are kind of separate. There's tools for creating songs like Suno and creating images like Adobe and creating video starting to come out, but a lot of these companies are starting to combine these tools into one sort of suite of tools that I think is going to be really interesting and exciting. Oh, cool. You used Adobe Express. So are you at Adobe school, Rachel? Like, do you and your students have access to Adobe accounts? And if you do, I'm curious how many credits you have. As I mentioned earlier, I have 500 credits a month in my school account. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. So they were using the AI tools in Adobe Express to create images or content. That's really cool. I like that idea. Okay, so next up on the list is a tool by Rosebud. Shout out to Rosebud AI. They help sponsor the Rosebud AI game contest for the week of AI. Did a portrait of their teacher. Oh, that's cool. But they have this other tool I find really interesting. It's called Many Worlds, and basically it's a 360-degree image generator. And currently it's free to use. So that's why I like it. You don't have to pay for it. Oops, I already have it open over here. Sorry. But oh, didn't load my picture. But yeah, so it's a text prompt that generates a 360 image, and then you can download that image and use it in VR apps that you might use. I use we use CoSpaces EDU in my design tech class, and this might be useful for creating backgrounds. I don't know if you're familiar with CoSpaces, but they're like a 3D design VR AR creation tool. It's one of my favorites. But you could create three-dimensional experiences and games. And one of the features in CoSpaces is you can upload a 360 picture. Actually, let me log in. And I'll show you an example of what that looks like based on an image that I generated with Many Worlds. There we go. So this one here. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back to that. I'm kind of jumping around. So this is what I'm sharing is Rosebud AI's, it's called Many Worlds. Again, the link is in the chat. I mean, not the chat. The link is in the slide deck here, and it's on my presentation page. But yeah, Many Worlds, manyworlds.run. And it looks like this. And then you give it a prompt in the bottom and click submit. I'm going to refresh this. Try again. I was trying to get like a Atlantis. Let's see, ancient ruins of a city buried the ocean floor, surrounded by coral and fish. Let's see if that generates. So again, you give it a text prompt, and then it takes a little while, but it'll create a 360 image, like this example here. Kind of feel like I'm in Jurassic Park, but it's a 360-degree image that allows me to look at all directions. And then you can download this picture as an image file. And like, look, one example that I plan to use it for is having students create 360 background images for their CoSpaces projects. So this is one of like a monster that I generated through Many Worlds. Oops. Kind of spooky, scary. But it's a 360 image inside of CoSpaces. And then in CoSpaces, you can drag in 3D objects. Let me get something better here. And you can place those objects in your scene and set them up as three-dimensional environments that users can explore and play. CoSpaces is amazing. I could spend a whole session talking about CoSpaces specifically, but not to get too off topic. Well, let's see. Is it generating the picture for me? Isn't it? Yeah, it's one of my favorites. There's another, I forget what it's called. There's another great 360 image generator. If you guys know what I'm talking about, something Labs. I can't remember, but they ended up charging for it eventually, so it's not free anymore. Everything eventually has a price, right? But this one's, again, it's currently free. It's made by Rosebud AI, which are the creators of the Game Maker tool, which I'm going to share in a little bit as well. I don't know why it's not processing. Could be that I got too much going on my computer right now, running a stream, having all these websites open. But if you can, give it a try on your own computer while we're in this session today. Let me know if you get any good, interesting results. But like I said, you can download it. Oh, it didn't generate my picture yet. All right, well, I'm gonna give up on that for now. Move on to something else. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can definitely create some pretty interesting. I mean, the better the prompt, the better the output of the image. So some really interesting use cases there. I love that idea of for storytelling, definitely. Okay, next up in the AI tool department is Google's AI Test Kitchen. So let me know if you've explored these at all. As I came across these the past couple of weeks, thought they're free to use currently through Google, and they work really well. So currently there are 3 of them in the Google AI Test Kitchen that you can use for free. They're accessible to anybody as long as you sign into a Google account. And they are Image FX, Music FX, and Text FX. So if you visit the AI Test Kitchen homepage here and you log in with your Google account, then you can access the different FX tools from the menu up here. And basically, it's a text to image generator. It's a music text to text, a music generator based on text prompts, and then this really cool text effects. I'll kind of get to that in a minute. But image effects again gives you you get a prompt. But I'm just going to choose the I'm feeling lucky, and we'll see what this generates. Realistic photograph of a cute otter, zebra, mouse in a field sunset. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Now you notice once it generated it, it turned the keywords into selection fields. And then it takes my prompt. It could take my prompt. I just did the I'm feeling lucky and made it come up with its own prompt, but it'll take your prompt, pull out keywords, and then give you some additional options. So maybe rather than realistic, I could do abstract. Rather than photograph, I could do a painting. And I can come in here and change these fields and then regenerate and see what it comes up with instead. Let's see what it generates now. Sorry, got a bug floating around my screen. There we go. That one's kind of weird, but some interesting images there based on the changes I make. Yeah, so that's a really cool feature of this, different from Adobe Firefly, whereas it kind of pulls your filters into the actual prompt instead. And then you have that same sort of, and then you can add more filters. So that's a good point. I'm not sure if student accounts can log into this on like an education plan. And it's definitely worth going into, whoops, why isn't it working now? Oh boy, clicking around too much. It doesn't want to work for me. Definitely going into the terms of service and the privacy down here in the bottom corner to try to answer that question. That's definitely a question to consider. But if you look at the bottom here, there's some other filters that you can choose, and you can add more, right? So I can just keep clicking more until I see something interesting. Here, like I'll toss in sci-fi, and I'll toss in, ooh, I should have grabbed that highly detailed one. That would have been cool. Maybe I could just type it in. Let's see what it does. So yeah, so you can add in more filters based on the bottom here. There we go. And you see how it converted my additional description there into a selectable menu. There we go. Cool. Okay, and then once you see a picture you like, you can sort of similar to Adobe, you can edit the picture, and then there are some options here. So like you can draw over the part of the image you want to change. So maybe like let's do this, and we'll say cloudy sky. You can change the brush size, and then you give it a prompt for what you want to add into that area that you defined. Let's see what it does on this one. Oh, I don't know, it just gave me more sun. I don't know, kind of gave me more sun instead of more clouds. Maybe it wasn't enough space to develop a cloudy sky. But yeah, I mean, you could fill in areas and add additional things if you want to. And then you can download it, you can copy it, and then you can share it out. Only downside here is you can't save it within your account. So you have to, if you want to use it, you gotta get it out of Image Effects. That's the only downside here. Adobe, I didn't show it earlier, but Adobe, you can favorite one of the pictures and it'll save that in your Adobe account for you. You can always go back to it later on, but you can't do that here. Something that was just announced today, not today, but this week during Google I/O is they're rolling out their next version of their image generator, which is Imagine. Currently, ImageFX runs on Imagine 2, but they're soon going to be rolling out Imagine 3, which is, of course, a better quality image generator. You can request access. I requested access earlier this week. I haven't gotten it yet, so I'm not sure what the timeline on requesting access is, but it's a Google form that you fill in, and then you just wait and see if they give you access early on or not. But that's something to look forward to. Just always improving the generator and the AI model to see what better input you get. So that's image effects, and then you've got music effects. Let me go here. Music effects. So we'll switch to there. Here we go. And this creates. It doesn't create vocals, but it'll create background music for you based on your description. So you could give it a prompt. It acts very similar to image effects. So if I give it, just have it generate a prompt for me. It'll pull keywords and then turn them into drop-down menus. So sad, moody, traditional Japanese flute music. Can you guys hear the sound coming out of that? Let me know if you can hear that or not. I wasn't sure if I turned the audio on. No. Okay. How do I get the audio on for my tab here? Can you help me, Amanda? Do you know how I get do I have to reshare?
Yeah, reshare and,
Okay,
and just
you
share the
do that.
tab, not the window. StreamYard, they're
Or
real
just the
funny about,
tab?
yeah, just the tab. For some reason, it won't play sound from multiple windows.
Okay, so present, share screen.
And while he's doing that, make sure you join us for EdTech Karaoke later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We have 3 masked singers that are going to be singing. They're not going to turn their camera on. We've got Loving Llama, Analog the Astronaut, and I don't know which mask the third masked singer chose, but it's going to be either a tree, a penguin, or an alien. All right, try now.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you hear it? Okay.
Okay.
Is this the volume? Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, so that's just that's the track. Yeah, so that's the song it generated. Right, but then it generates more than one track, so I could try this one. Okay, so that's the output it gave me based on this random prompt. And then you have a settings where you can change, maybe you just need something longer for a project. So like one way I'm thinking about using this is having students create background music for some game projects that they create in our class, and having background music that's AI generated might be a fun way to enhance the project. So maybe they need like a longer track. So you can choose 30, 50, or 70. And then you can cause it to loop. So you can have it loop itself if you want to. And then you regenerate. And then again, just like with image FX, there's more filters on the bottom that you can click into. You can refresh and click into add and then regenerate and see what it comes out with. Let's see what this comes up with. Oh yeah, even for podcasting, definitely. Or for like, these like webinars and stuff that you do, creating that like intro music or outro music, or just background music while maybe audience is working on something. Let's see what this gives us. And it's super simple. I think too, if you're not comfortable allowing students to use this tool, or if it's not possible, I'm not sure. I haven't tried having students logging into this themselves. If it's not possible, you could have this set up at a station, or run it from your teacher account, and then conference with your students to generate the music for them. Oh, it's lagging out on me. Wait, oh, there it goes. There you go, pretty nice music. The other really cool feature in music effects is the DJ mode. So if I turn on DJ mode, you kind of have a different interface here where the style of music is broken up into parts here. So steel drum, acid jazz, lute, and then you can adjust sort of like the level, like how much steel drum you want in the music versus the acid jazz and the lute, right? So if let's see what happens here. So if I generate this, right? But let's say I increase the lute. And then regenerate it. Right, and then you can add to it, and then there's a cool little random prompt here, so I can randomly add other prompts to my generator here, and then adjust, how much of those I want. Ice cream melting. Let's see what that sounds like. That's pretty cool. So again, like I like the DJ mode, right? Because with this, you got to come up with your prompt. And like I said earlier, like I'm not good at prompt crafting, especially with music. I really have no idea how to describe different types of music. But DJ mode might be great for those students that struggle with that, or like for me, struggles with that, and just kind of playing around with what's there. And then, I could kind of generate some random prompts here to see what it's coming up with. And then maybe that kind of might help inspire my own ideas. And then I can begin adding my own prompts. Then you have like the more option down here at the bottom. And advanced tab over here gives you can increase like the temperature of the music. I think it just like kind of increases the pace. Let's lower it. Yeah, it kind of messes with like I don't know, like the speed maybe, or the noise level. But yes, just some really fun features to kind of play around with. So that's music effects, and then you got the DJ mode there, and then there is text effects. This one's really interesting. I don't know, some of you like English teachers, language teachers, you might find some really interesting use to this. They describe this as a tool to power up your writing process. And what it does here, like you have these options, these filters across the top. And depending on the filter, like RAP is the acronym tool. You give it a word, let's say intelligence. And then it develops an acronym based on that word. And it gives you 3 outputs initially, but it says there's 4, so it's not showing one, but comes so information nurturing through extensive learning, leading and growth, enhancing natural cognitive essence. So it takes the letters of the word and turns it into an acronym for you. So that's acronym, alliteration. Let's see. Enter a topic. Give me a topic in the chat. We'll create some alliteration here. Of course. Okay, tacos. Word starting with, we'll go with T. See what it does. The tacos, starting with T. Taco bar, taco salad, taco seasoning, taco shell, taco stand, tamale, taquilla, taco truck, taqueria, what else? Tinga, tomatilla, tomato. So just pulling words based on that topic, starting with the letter T. And you can change it up. POV or human. Ooh. Let's see what letter should I give it? Human with the letter. Let's give it a different letter. I wonder what Z would do. Give it a hard letter. Zeal, zealot, zealous, zeitgeist, zenith, zenithal, zenithal? Zero zestful. Let's see, another one. Explode. Create phrases that sound similar to a given word. Yeah, let's go with helicopter. See what it does. He licks a copter. The police chopper gets a thorough cleaning. Okay, that's gross. He like a copter that he likes. He's a copper, a police officer. So just really, I don't know, it's really kind of fun, interesting tools that play around with words and do different things, building a sequence of words where each word relates to the last one. Let me know if you're playing around with this one. Soccer, ball, court, judge, lawyer, suit, tie, knot. From soccer to knot. That's cool. So it's playing off the previous word. Court, judge, lawyer, suit, tie. Pretty cool. So that's text effects. So it's just different tools that do different things with words and phrases and topics. And then from there, you can always generate more. You can, if you like something, if there's something that really stands out to you, something you want to use, you can pin it, and it becomes part of your pinned ideas over here. You can copy it. There's also an option to download the things that you pin afterwards, so you can export it out. What does it pull it out as? I'm not even sure. Oh, it's a .text file. So it'll pull it out as a text file for you. And then you can do what you want with it. So that's text FX. Right, so those are 3 tools in AI's test kitchen that you can use right now. I'll talk about a tool that's coming later on. Oh, you guys can't see that. Let me reshare here. Share my window. Oops. This one. Okay, thanks. Okay, so moving on here. Now I'm running low on time. So Suno's been part of Week of AI. If you guys joined into Week of AI early on, there was a song generating contest, but this one generates vocals. So it actually creates the lyrics, the background music, and sings the song for you, which is really cool. So I got to open up here. So I've got some that I've generated already. A few that I generated for the Week of AI, like the era of the algorithm, the digital divide. So you can see, I know you guys can't hear it, but can I share it? Here, I'm going to share it in the, yeah, I need to share the tab. Can I put the link in it? Oh, I can't put links in the chat. Let me grab the tab. There we go.
A new era to rise, knowledge at our fingertips.
That's my era of the algorithm song. So you can see my prompt over here, a pop band pop song about the pros and cons of AI and education. And it generated the lyrics for me, and then the background music. And then you can export it out. So you can download it. What's really cool too is you can download it as an audio file. You can download it as a video file with like an image in place. You can share it publicly. And then you can copy the prompt and use it in another song, make adjustments to the prompt. There's some really cool features here. Build playlists. There's a really great public library of songs that you can generate. So I've seen some interesting use cases for this one. Teachers giving this a try. Students. I don't know if I've seen students using it yet, but I'm sure it's happened already. But this one, Suno for the Week of AI created a form that you could fill out for them, Suno Teachers Program, and they'll give you 5,000 credits for free, which is like, I think it's like 2 months worth of credits on their paid side. So you can see over here, I've got like 5,050 credits right now, where I think like the free default, I'm not sure, maybe it's 50 or 60 is like the free default. But you can fill out that form that I got linked up in there, and they'll give you 5,000 credits, which should give you quite a few songs to explore with, to generate. So Suno is a really cool music generator that does the lyrics and the vocals for you. Okay, moving on here. The next one is Game Maker. So the Rosebud AI, I think you guys announced, Amanda, you guys announced the winners of the Rosebud AI game contest yesterday, I believe. Hopefully you guys had a chance to check that out. But this one's really cool. Like I'm really interested in trying this one out in my future classes. But basically, it's an text to game generator. Well, technically text to code generator. So you talk with the AI chatbot. Oh, you're announcing today at 7:30. Okay. Um, but you talk with the chatbot here, and you describe like the kind of game you want to make, and it will provide the tools, well, not the tools, but it'll provide the code and explain what you can do to you. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm not sharing my screen. There we go. Sorry, so I'm talking about Rosebud AI Game Maker. And here's a game that I made a while ago. It's my first game that I made through Game Maker. And I found the process like really user friendly and really informative in not only like helping to create the game, like kind of creating the game on its own in a sense, but as I worked through it, it provided suggestions for what to do in the code to make necessary changes to help to make the game work. And I found myself like, rather than uploading the code it suggested, I would just go into the code tab and I was editing the code myself because of the very specific and user-friendly explanations that the AI gives you as you prompt it for ideas and for what you want it to do. So I created this clean your room game. Now the images, the background image, the character image, um, I generated with AI as well. So I used a different tool to create the images. And basically, what you do is you move the character around the room, collecting all the dirty laundry and the snack wrappers and the toys before your mom gets to your room and punishes you. But it's a very simple game that I reload here that I created using the chat, and actually it saves my entire conversation all the way from the beginning of my game, and I can actually go back and read through. You can tell me like I asked it like, can you resize the background image so that it fits on the game screen? You can see I asked it here in this part of the conversation, and then it tells me to resize the image. We need to know the original dimensions, but because it's not provided, you can use these tools to help you. So it really does a really good job of kind of breaking things down for the user. Again, like I said, to the point where I was finding myself just going into the code and making those changes myself, even though I have no experience with this type of programming language. The explanations from the AI chatbot were extremely helpful. And what's really cool about this is you have different templates to work from. I started off with a 2D playground template, and then went from there to create that game. But there's an AI character and an advanced version. You'll see like if you take a look at the winners tonight, I'm sure quite a few of them are AI chatbots created for specific educational purposes, and you can even see some here in the trending games of creating chatbots that help teach you something or provide unique information. Um, yeah, so that's Rosebud AI Game Maker. Ooh, almost out of time. Okay, what do I have left? Okay, I'm going to share Lumia. I think this one's really cool, and then I'll get into what's on the horizon. So Lumia AI Genie here is a 3D model generator. Currently, it's free. You give it a prompt, a text-based prompt, and then it generates 4 examples of that prompt in a 3D model. You can see I created some here. So like I told it Bumblebee, and it generated this 3D model of a bumblebee for me. And then once the model's generated, I can download that. Oops. I can download that into a handful of different file types. Oop, dang it, clicking the wrong button. Depending on what tool you're using. So like for me, my goal here is to have students use this to generate unique 3D models that they need for their CoSpaces projects that I showed earlier. And so one, like we work with the climate action superheroes, and one could be like a cheeseburger monster that is the arch nemesis of the veggie vindicator, the climate action superhero. So I was trying to create some like, fast food monster 3D models that could be pulled into our CoSpaces project and used as a character in an interactive game or scene. So my prompt was fast food monster. I think it gave me, oops, can I click on this whole one? Oh no, but there's the individual ones, even this one. Interesting monster there with a cheeseburger on his shoulder. But yeah, this is a really cool 3D model generator, and you can there's an enhancement. See, some of these are high res models. It takes a little while to do, but once they're done, they look really good, and then you can download them as files and then upload them into. This is free. Yeah, this is currently free. So it's text to 3D. It's Genie's text to 3D generator, and yeah, I've been able to generate these for free right now. So I'll give that one a try. Genmo is a a text-based video generator. Show you some examples here. So it creates like very short videos, but they're almost like GIFs. They're not true videos. You see they're kind of repeating themselves. So I was trying to create a battle between a veggie vindicator and a fast food monster. So you see some of the video examples that it created there for me, and then a veggie vindicator character. But again, it's just like it's like a they refer to it as a video generator, but it's not quite a video. It's kind of more like a GIF maker. But then you can download these as video files and then use them in projects if you want to. So that's Genmo. Okay, so wrap things up. Let's talk about AI tools that are on the horizon. So first up, back to AI Test Kitchen. What they announced this week is a video generator that they're working on that will come to the AI Test Kitchen soon. And this one, like you see some examples here, a little bit better at creating videos. I'm not sure what the lengths will be, but here's some that have been generated with their test model already. You can see the prompt that was used at the bottom there. And here's a crocheted elephant walking in a savanna. So these are much more like videos. The tool is going to be a lot more powerful than this, I think. Even this, like creating a specific POV. Here's one of a person writing down. So this is all AI generated, which I think is fascinating. And look at the quality of this. Time lapse of a water lily. This is part of the AI Test Kitchen. So it's right now there's a wait list you can join. You can fill out the form and cross your fingers that you get access early. Otherwise, it'll be a tool that'll eventually get released. I don't know if it'll be free. I'm not sure if they're going to pay for it. You're going to have to pay for it. They didn't really talk much about how it will be, whether it be accessible or not, but definitely something to look forward to in the near future. And then we have Notebook LM. And Notebook LM's been out since last year. They announced Notebook LM at last year's Google I/O. Sorry, and Notebook LM is like it uses Google's Gemini to help students research and study different topics. So what you do is you can upload, files into a notebook, like I did here. These are PDF resources for a programming language called CoBlocks, and then you can chat with it. It's like an AI chatbot that references the materials that you give it, and then it'll generate questions that I might want to ask it based on those materials. For example, open this. I asked it about how to create moving objects in this programming tool, and so it kind of breaks down a step-by-step process for me. So it's trying to teach me how to use the programming language. But what they're planning to do, I don't know if I'll have time to watch this, but how much time we got? Yeah, I'm almost out of time. But basically, they're going to build in an audio output. So it'll be, rather than text-based conversations, you'll be able to speak with an AI model inside of the notebook and have a conversation with it, and it'll teach you concepts based on the resources that you've given it access to, and have like a verbal audio conversation. It's really cool. Check out the video in the slide deck here when you get a chance. And then the other one, not much to go on, but there's a video that Google put out this week that shows a very brief glimpse into what's called Labs in Classroom tool. So it's Gemini built into Google Classroom that can help teachers develop and even adjust current lesson plans and activities that they've created in Google Classroom for their students. So the video here gives you like really quick screenshots, screen grabs of what it might look like. It's something they're piloting right now, so it might not even look like that if and when they eventually release it. But something else, if you're a Google Classroom user, that's something you want to keep your eye on and see if it might be of interest to you and other faculty at your school. So building AI lesson planning tools into Google Classroom.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You have
All right.
shared so many tools that I didn't even know existed. And I don't even want to go to my 7:30 session and launch it. I just want to keep playing.
Thanks,
But
Amanda.
I have
Thank
to
you,
go
everyone.
and announce the Game Jam winners. So
Yes. All
yeah.
right. I'm going to be tuning in.
Yeah, awesome. Michael was
Thanks
actually
so
one
much,
of our
everyone.
judges for the
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Rosebud Game Jam, so he got to play all the games and rank them. So
Some really cool
I was
games.
supposed to be a judge, but I've been so busy this week, I haven't got to I looked at them, but I haven't got to play them. So, well, we will
No worries.
see you guys in the 7:30 conference closeout,
All right.
and I will announce the scavenger hunt winners and Game Jam winners, $500 cash pool. So someone's gonna walk away with some big chunks of money tonight.
Ooh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amanda. Thank you,
Thanks.
everyone, for joining in. I really appreciate it. And good luck.